Warning, the following video contains multiple mispronounced words in Icelandic. I apologize. In the world of airlines, there's cheap, and then there's Icelandic cheap. Over the last decade, this tiny, spectacular volcanic island has produced two airlines, WOW Air and more recently, Play Airlines, that promised something unbelievable, absurdly low fares across the Atlantic. $99 from New York to Europe. $129 to Paris. $79 to Reykjavik if you packed a single sock and didn't breathe on board. Those fares were legendary, but the catch was catastrophic. Both WOW and Play eventually collapsed after brutal losses, wild-eyed expansion, and profit margins thinner than a sheet of Icelandic lava rock, leaving thousands stranded and investors destroyed. Why Iceland? Why does this tiny nation keep spawning ultra-cheap transatlantic airlines that burn bright and burn out even faster? And more importantly, is any long-haul, low-cost airline actually economically viable in the modern world? Commercial aviation came to Iceland in the 1920s and 30s. Back then, Iceland's remoteness was a major challenge. The North Atlantic is rough weather, high winds, and unpredictable conditions. For a country with no railroads, aviation quickly became a national necessity. Two early airlines emerged, Flugfélag Akureyrar and Loftleiðir. Loftleiðir became known worldwide as the hippie airline. In the 1950s and 60s, decades before Ryanair, Loftleiðir pioneered budget transatlantic flying, offering some of the cheapest ways for young travelers to cross the Atlantic. By the late 1970s, the two carriers merged into the unified flag carrier, Icelandair. From then on, Icelandair embraced Iceland's unique geography as its entire business model. Split the long flight in half, fly US to Keflavik, Kef, then Kef to Europe. Offer a free stopover. Sell the idea of combining a trip to Europe with a mini vacation in Iceland. Through economic crises and volcanic eruptions like Eyjafjallajökull, Icelandair never died. They were disciplined. They were slow to grow. They are the quiet survivor, watching the younger siblings sprint straight into the volcano. And it's from this stable, survivor-like backdrop that WOW Air and later Play emerged, trying to reinvent the same hub formula in an even cheaper, more aggressive, and ultimately unsustainable way. WOW Air was the creation of entrepreneur Skuli Mogensen, launching in 2012. WOW branded itself as a bright, cheeky alternative, leaning heavily on the allure of those triple-digit transatlantic flights. The growth was stunning. Passenger numbers skyrocketed. The fleet grew fast, A320s, A321s, and then, the first major strategic error, the A330-300 widebodies, a massive jump in cost and complexity for a budget carrier. Load factors were deceptively high, reaching 88% in 2015 and 2016. The core economic truth is that long-haul low-cost isn't about filling 88% of seats. It's about filling 95% or more while also aggressively and successfully selling ancillary revenue, bags, food, seats, and upgrades. WOW's ultra-low average ticket price meant they had an impossibly high hurdle to clear. WOW's problems piled up. Wild seasonal demand swings. Fixed costs didn't change just because winter dropped load factors into the crippling 40s. Expansion that outran revenue. Expensive widebody leases. Tiny profit cushions. Talks with investors, including Icelandair, collapsed. The numbers just didn't work. March 18, 2019, WOW Air shuts down instantly. Its model of fast expansion, aggressive pricing, and reliance on narrow bodies for transatlantic routes was innovative, but the underlying economics simply didn't add up. After WOW's sudden collapse, former executives founded Play Airlines, swearing they would succeed by avoiding WOW's mistakes. Grow slower, use only fuel-efficient A320 and A321neos, and avoid widebodies. The strategy was the same. Affordable flights between Europe and North America with a short layover in Keflavik. But Iceland's unique problems hit them too. Inescapable demand seasonality, fierce competition from Icelandair, and transatlantic margins that simply don't support fares under $200. Play needed a 90% or higher year-round load factor just to break even. In 2024, their figure was 85.3%, better than before, but not sustainable. September 2025, Play entered administration and shut down. While Iceland tried to make narrow-body low-cost work, Norwegian attempted to reinvent long-haul using Boeing 787 Dreamliners. They launched routes stretching the globe. But behind the scenes, Rolls-Royce Trent 1000 engine failures grounded dozens of aircraft. Older lease replacements drained cash. Rapid growth stretched operations too thin. Fuel volatility destroyed margins. By 2019, Norwegian shut down long-haul and retreated to short-haul operations to survive. Low-cost short-haul works because planes fly multiple times per day with fast turnarounds. Long-haul destroys that formula: limited daily cycles, fuel dominance, and catastrophic cancellation costs. Add Iceland's tiny population and extreme seasonality, and the model becomes uniquely fragile. Yet survival exists elsewhere: Jetstar and Scoot. Owned by Qantas and Singapore Airlines, they function as subsidiaries with immense support. Purchasing power. Financial lifelines during crises. Strategic route discipline. Jetstar's long-haul 787 network works because routes are chosen specifically for reliable leisure volume and strong domestic feed. Jetstar only flies where the math works. Qantas absorbs shocks during downturns, renegotiating leases, pausing routes, and preventing collapse. Jetstar benefits from shared maintenance, purchasing, fuel hedging, crew pipelines, and domestic feed. Long-haul low-cost survives only when safely tethered to a massive parent airline. Ultra-cheap airlines without that tether spiral into extinction. Jetstar also profits from some of the world's longest narrow-body domestic sectors, up to 6 hours across Australia, using a 321neo aircraft with ultra-dense layouts and full ancillary revenue models. No rail competition. Huge distances. Guaranteed demand. LEVEL struggled under IAG ownership and was downsized or absorbed. Jetstar Asia closed in 2025 from rising costs and competition. Parent airline support reduces risk, but does not guarantee survival. Icelandair survives via disciplined hybrid operations and partnerships, including U.S. feed from Southwest Airlines. The rule is clear. In long-haul low-cost, you either survive as a disciplined hybrid airline, operate as a protected subsidiary, or end up in the graveyard. If you enjoyed this deep dive into airline economics, like and subscribe. Do you think another Icelandic budget carrier will rise? Or is the model fundamentally broken without major airline backing? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.